morning guys, and welcome back to the vlog. As you just saw, we got done our morning cardio. I actually had a pretty bad sleep last night, being just under 4 weeks out. It's going to be expected towards the end of prep, but nonetheless, we are getting shredded slowly but surely. It's getting there, and I'm really just wanted to jump on here and firstly thank you guys for the support from the last few videos. Seeing that the subs are slowly starting to go up, which is really cool to see. It's obviously something new for me, but I did want to essentially vlog this whole prep or the second half of it anyway. So yeah, things are tracking along pretty good. Obviously fatigue is really high at the moment. We are sitting at 91.4 kilos. It's been sort of fluctuating depending on the high days, if I get a high day or not. Weight will typically hold for a little bit and then it might come back down. But judging from the fatigue, it is going to drop this week again. Started doing a bit of sauna, just a bit of recovery. We've just started pulling back on volume a little bit too, so coach's orders. Prioritize recovery now. Still train hard obviously, because we're not training soft by any means, but you're not going to be putting on much tissue, at this stage of prep. I'm in the backyard, by the way, just in case you guys are wondering. Just getting a bit of sun while it's out. For the last couple of weeks, it has been raining here in Sydney, so any opportunity that I can get some sun, I will take full advantage of. And after that, we will essentially, I don't even know what the title of this video is going to be, to be honest. It's more of a bit of a prep update. We are going to go train delts and arms today, so we'll probably bring you guys along for that. Maybe see a bit of food. Food's pretty much the same. It's not going to be much different from what I eat in a day, except it is less food, just because we are not on high days. We're pretty much going to just run low days until we do a trial peak. For those of you that don't know, trial peak is essentially where we will see how many carbs the body actually needs in order to fill out without overspilling. And generally speaking, if you're ready early, approaching a bodybuilding show, then you will run that process usually a couple of weeks out and see. So this is the time to dig. It's the time to pretty much get off the last bit of fat that we can. There is still a little bit to go, but the glutes are starting to come in, which is really cool. We also had a podcast filmed the other day. So my brother and myself just started doing our podcast. So I'll pop in some B-roll of that as well, which we're really excited for. So when that does come out, it is called The Jacked Philosopher. We'll be talking all things stoicism, philosophy, things beyond bodybuilding and training. This is more of a bodybuilding channel, but the other one, where the podcast, we will essentially be talking about what goes into the mind of a bodybuilder and how the different skills learned in bodybuilding can be essentially translated into other areas of life. So we're really looking forward to bringing you guys a different platform, stuff that's not really talked about in modern day society. A lot of the mental health side of things as well, that goes into not just physical fitness, but how the transformation of the body interlays into the mental, the spiritual, things like that. So we're really looking forward to bringing on that style of content as well. So keep your eyes out for that. The channel is called The Jacked Philosopher Podcast. So when we do start releasing that, I will put it up on my stories across all my socials. So make sure you jump on and subscribe to that page as well if you want some nice, juicy, taboo content, stuff that's not talked about nowadays. Nothing inappropriate or anything like that, but just essentially serious conversations. So if you guys are into that, a bit of philosophy, a bit of stoicism, then make sure you do give that a listen. But aside from that, it is time for me to eat soon. I mean, what time is it? It's 8:45. I have been trying to delay my first meal until roughly 9:30-ish, just because of how hungry I am at the moment. So as you can tell, the face is starting to come in. We did have a haircut yesterday too, fresh fade, which isn't going to help the skeletal look. But essentially, we will wait a little bit before we eat, probably do a few more steps, especially now since we're outside, get some client work done, edit a bit of content, just the usual stuff that comes with, essentially trying to be busy while you're hungry. It's the best thing you can do. I've noticed that this year, in this prep in particular, because I have been so busy trying to start up all this new stuff and the podcast, and then getting more clients on board and whatnot, I haven't found as much time to think about food. So if any of you guys are thinking of competing, or if you're thinking of undergoing any contest prep, or you're even dieting, just trying to lose weight, keep yourself busy during that time, because it'll make a massive difference to your thought process when it comes to just thinking about food. If you're not thinking about it, if you're keeping yourself active and essentially engaged in different daily tasks, then you'll find that you won't have even time to think about the hunger. So yes, you're still going to be there, but it's about not minimization, but it's about hunger management. So yeah, people that say you're not going to be hungry during a prep, I mean, they're probably lying to you. It doesn't matter how hardcore of a bodybuilder you are, you're still going to feel it, but it's about what you can do to essentially mitigate it and make things work to your advantage. So prioritizing your recovery, making sure that you are allocating the majority of your energy towards your training sessions. And obviously, you know, for me personally, and this is something that I'm a big advocate for, separating your cardio from your training session. Never do your cardio like within a couple of hours of your training session. Yeah, I did mine this morning to get it out of the way just because I had a really bad sleep. So I just ended up getting up at 5, doing my Stairmaster, and then that was pretty much it. But I won't be training for another few hours. So as long as you have at least a 3-4 hour gap between your cardio and your training, you'll be sweet because the fatigue won't overlay. But that's it from me, guys, from this morning. Just going to sit here and enjoy the sun a little bit more, and then we will probably see you at the gym for delts and arms. All right, delts and arms. We're here at Moore Park, just essentially going through the motions, nothing special. Volume has been taken down a touch. Like I said, I'm restricted to a sort of 2 reps in reserve range, just to make sure we're still stimulating adaptations, but we're not going to do curling during this time, obviously. So starting off with the Smith machine French press, a couple of sets of that. It's actually a really good movement for a good stretch on my tricep, this one. So definitely been one of my favorites this prep. Do a couple of sets of that, move on. Pretty basic workout. A couple of buys, couple of tries, couple of shoulder movements, and then it's pretty much it. I really haven't been feeling it for like the last couple of weeks, It's really getting to like the nitty gritty now where fatigue is just through the absolute roof. Not that I'm complaining, but it's just gotten to that stage now where it's like every training session is a slog, but this is where quitters quit, and this is where people who actually love this shit, they persevere and they continue. So it's not easy, it's not meant to be easy, but we're in it, that's for sure. Nonetheless, we keep going. Hammer curls, brachialis. If you've got little bitch forearms, spam these and they'll grow. Or if you're a lonely teenager at home, that's the other way you can grow your forearms. I'm kidding. Spam hammer curls. The pump is in fact embarrassing. I mean, the vascularity is coming out, but no pump achieved whatsoever. And that's with Mediform. If you guys don't know what Mediform is, hyaluronic acid. When you have 0 glycogen, even though we just had carbs, it just goes straight away. But that's all right because you've got to get flat to lose fat. It's the only way to get it done. One more set of hammers to go.
Is it hard for you to pull back on the rep range?
Yeah, there's an element of fatigue that's associated with that in itself. So having to think about not going as hard because I'm limiting myself to 2 RIR by itself is tiring because I have to actively keep it in the back of my mind now not to go to complete failure. So if you're in prep and you know what I'm talking about, prep brain, you know what type of fatigue I'm referring to. It's cooked, but it is what it is. This is the part where the belt comes on. Not because we need it, but because we've got all the gear and absolutely no fucking idea. It makes the waist look slimmer as well. That's the real reason why people wear belts, is not to give them ab support or to brace. It's because it makes the waist look tighter and it makes your shoulders look bigger. So next time you see someone wearing a belt, you know the real reason. We had to do a bit of a switcheroo on the old attachment. The other one was too long. I wasn't getting a good stretch in my triceps. Although this looks like it's been chewed up by a dog, it is shorter. You'll see what I mean anyway. You get much more of a deep stretch without the thing bottoming out. See, I can actually fully extend the elbows. Right, so we are back from the gym, and meal number 3, which pretty much doesn't change, our post-workout meal, which is essentially our chicken, potatoes, and pineapple. Now, I like to heat this up in the pan. So the reason why is because when you get hungry and you find yourself starving, it actually tastes a lot fresher. Little hack for you guys, if you were someone that gets sick of eating blandish kind of food, not that it's bland, but if you do get sick of it, then taking it out of the container and heating it up on the pan will make it a lot fresher and taste a lot better. So I'm gonna get this in. I'm not gonna lie, today's workout was a bit of a slog. Definitely one of the more challenging workouts I've done, just because of where we are in prep, but I'll explain that anyway. But yeah, I do delay eating this meal until usually 3:30ish, just because of how hungry I do feel, and I want to try and delay each and every meal until the closest point of where I get to bed. I find this the easiest way to hunger manage during prep, and it just essentially makes life a little bit easier. So I'm going to get tucked into this, and then we will see you after. All right, so we did just get done with our daily task for today, pretty much. As you can tell, I am pretty well tired. Just finished up with a bit of editing on the laptop, you know, the good old life of an aspiring creator. We've got our little light up here as well, which just provides a little bit more sort of white light, which I personally prefer to a yellow light. I do want to get like a bit of a red light sort of set up, but that's to come. It comes with having a bit more space too, obviously. I still live at the family home, so eventually when we do graduate from here and I have my own sort of space, I'll be able to have a nice proper office setup and whatnot, and essentially set things up the way I like. But for now, this is our little setup. Top here, got CapCut open, a little desk lamp. We've got our little blood pressure monitoring machine there, blood glucose. It's essentially where I do all my daily health checks every single morning. So that is the first thing that I will do every day when I get up. I'll jump on the scales, check my blood glucose, check my blood pressure. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out my day in the life video to see what my morning routine actually looks like. So I do like to keep it pretty consistent. That is the biggest thing that you'll probably see from me, as well as many other bodybuilders who have their YouTube channels, we are creatures of habit, and consistency and doing the daily repetitive things is literally what we thrive on. So I think it's important to have some sort of structure in life, no matter what that is. You know, it doesn't have to be in bodybuilding, but whatever it is that you are pursuing, I think having that structure is necessary, and it will allow you to essentially time manage to the best of your ability and make sure that you are able to fit in the maximum that you can in your day. So, like I said, incorporating strategies like morning routines. I'm not saying go ahead and do all these extravagant influencer-like routines that you see all these big influencers doing on YouTube, but the reason behind that is that it gives them some sort of structure. Yours may look completely different to mine, but the main thing is that there is something in there that you know you can do consistently and repetitively on a daily basis. So that way you can at least hold yourself accountable to the things that you say that you're going to do. And that's pretty much the hack to anything in life, I guess. Hey, it doesn't happen overnight. It is something that takes a while. If you had asked me 4 or 5 years ago, when I was 150 kilos and extremely obese, I'd laugh if someone told me I'd step up on a bodybuilding stage, or I'd start my own business, or I'd start making YouTube videos and all that kind of jazz. But 5 years later, and here we are. You know, we haven't necessarily reached anywhere yet, but we've got the habits in place, and I've got the processes in place that are essentially going to help me get there one day, God willing. So that's what it's all about, guys. Just essentially turning up even on days where you don't feel like it. As you saw today, obviously with training, I didn't really want to be there. And you are going to have those days, but what matters is that you essentially turn up regardless, and you just get stuff done either way, because they're the days that are going to pay off in the end. They're the days where you will actually check those big wins. And once you do that enough over time, you will realize that you will make some pretty significant changes. So that's it from me, guys. As always, show the love, like and subscribe down below. I will be aiming to do a video pretty much every week leading up to show day, including a show day vlog, depending on how much I can film. Obviously, on show day, I will be focusing on, you know, my presence on stage and making sure that I'm prepared enough. So I'll try and film what I can. But in saying that as well, it is a day where I will be solely focused on just trying to be the best version of myself that I can for the day. But I will absolutely do my best to bring you guys along for that, just to give you a bit of an experience of what it is like to, you know, be behind the scenes of what goes into a bodybuilding show and the whole peaking strategy. I'm really keen to show you guys my whole peak week. I'm keen to see it myself as well. Obviously, working with a new coach, you know, for the last 2 years now. He's not new, but I haven't done a peak with him before, so I'm really keen to see how that whole process lays out. And aside from that, guys, I guess that's it. It is 9 o'clock at Sydney tonight, so time for me to check out, get some sleep, do it all again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Until the next one.